welcome to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Kiri and I'm a flower farmer here in Western Washington in Zone 8A. Today is Monday, April 18th, and I know I'm not doing a Sunday update, but that's because I was busy making sales on Easter Sunday. And you might notice that I don't have any flowers here on the table, and that's because I sold out. So I'm super excited to report that I sold 19 separate bouquets this weekend, and I sold everything that I picked, so that was pretty awesome. Honestly, I was pretty worried this week because last week, in the last video I made, I told you we were getting snow and hail, right? Well, this week was no different. We got huge pieces of hail, like almost like half an inch in diameter. I've never seen that here. So it was a little bit worrisome, and some of my landscape tulips that are in front of my house have a lot of damage, and I did pick them because I was going to sell some, but I wasn't able to do that just because they were so damaged. And I do have them blooming real quick so I can show you kind of how it's looking. It's such a shame because these are so huge and beautiful, but yeah, all of those spots that I show in the close-up, they really get accentuated when these grow up. So I'm really glad I didn't try to sell these because those are pretty rough. The one tulip that was blooming like crazy this week was the Novi Sun, which is this yellow one here. Yeah, I picked 96 stems of that this week, so yeah, that was the heavy lifter this week. And I was actually pleasantly surprised because I have heard that a lot of people don't really like yellow, but people didn't seem to have any hesitation to pick up the yellow bunches, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, Monday and Tuesday, just crazy hail, near freezing temperatures, and I was just like, fingers crossed, please no. But I did cover up the tulips that I'm growing for selling that are in my raised beds with my frost cloth, and so that worked out really well. And actually I'm reusing the hoops from the main beds where I showed you my cheap netting and hoop system video. Yep, I'm just popping those over into my raised beds and they're working out great. And it did actually help some of my tulips open up a little bit quicker. So this week we did actually end up going into the office, and I had 3 coworkers and friends who wanted to pick up some bouquets. I brought them some mixed bouquets with some of the early double foxtrot tulips that are in my landscape, and then also some Novi Sun to kind of fill it out. I finally feel like one of those flower farmer influencers taking those pictures with the huge bundles of flowers. Yeah, that video there is only 3 bunches. Yeah, pretty awesome. And they're not fully opened either. I tried to get up early on Friday and pick some tulips so that I could make some bunches, and I will say that the straight bunches of tulips are a lot faster than any of the little jam jar posies that I was making, and I over the weekend got a lot more efficient, and it's way easier when I can wash them outside, but obviously with the rain and the hail and stuff, that's a little bit difficult. So anyways, Friday morning I'm out picking tulips, and I got a bunch of Novi Sun, and then I have some Prince tulips. So those Prince mixed tulips, I would not recommend those if you're flower farming because of a couple different reasons. So first, the blooms are small. Let me show you. These are the Prince mix, all of these here. And then this is the Novi Sun that has just colored up. And then this is my Darwin Hybrid Sunset Mix one that just colored up as well. So you can see these are like 2 weeks old. So so these are basically on par with like grocery store tulips in the size. The stem length is also pretty short, and you know, they're relatively expensive. And the only reason why I bought them was because I thought that they were going to give me early blooms, but actually they're more of like a mid-season bloomer. So they didn't even give me the benefit that I thought they were going to give me. So these are slightly disappointing, and I would not recommend growing them in the future, but you know, we live and we learn. But I will say that the purple, pink, and yellow mix is very Easter, and I'm happy to have gotten some of those out the door in time for Easter. So those I sold 12 for $15, tax included, which comes out to about $1.25 a piece, which I think is pretty fair. And I did go to the grocery store this weekend, and I saw a bunch of 10, pretty much the same size tulips for $8. The Novi Sun tulips are just single tulips, so I'm pricing those at $1.50. So I've got 12 for $20, tax included. And people have been buying those up, so I think that the quality is there. I've even noticed that a couple people have bought multiple bouquets in one stop, so I think it's looking good. So Saturday was pretty much exactly the same thing. Restocked with some Novi Sun and restocked with a couple Prince tulip mix bouquets. I also had quite a few anemones blooming, but not enough to make a bunch of smaller bouquets. So I decided to make like a deluxe jam jar posy. I put 5 anemone stems in there, I think, and then 2 ranunculus stems, and then I filled it with some quince and some salal and some of those hyacinthoids. And it actually ended up being like red, white, and blue mix. I totally didn't plan that, but it worked out. So, and somebody picked that up, so that was awesome. And I pretty much sold out on Saturday. I had 1 bouquet left, and I was like, I'll just hold it, see what happens. And I haven't been able to go to the grocery store because I've been super busy the past couple weekends, so I finally was able to run off to the store on Sunday. I know, I'm sorry, I know. I shouldn't be shopping on Sunday, but I had to do it. I don't have any food. So I got back and it was in the early afternoon and it was like 60 degrees and super sunny, and my tulips were still under the frost cloth. And I opened it up and they were like blown out. So I just started picking them and I was like, you know what? I'm going to open the stand. Let's just see if we can get some last minute sales. I sold out. It was awesome. So I just made a quick post on our community Facebook page, you know, saying, hey, here's some last minute tulips, posted the picture in there. And then I had a bunch of people stop by between 4 and 7. So yeah, it kind of seems like people like to shop in the afternoon or early evening. So, you know, important to pay attention to that. So I'm not wasting my time being open if nobody's going to come by like early in the morning. And good to know too, because somebody's got to go grocery shopping sometime. So in my pop-up sale video where I was selling the daffodils and they were kind of closed up and I thought maybe people weren't purchasing them because they couldn't visualize what they looked like when they were open, I'm thinking about ways to address that because some of my tulips I'm selling in the color crack stage, so they're not really colored up either. And you know, one option is to put out like a sampler or like a display only bud vase or something that shows what they're going to look like when they're colored up. The other option too, you know, is try to do that customer education. So I put a little note on my sign and said, you know, did you know that tulips can grow in the vase and they'll probably double in size? I did speak with one person who stopped by, and she said that her mom bought some flowers and they totally opened up, and so she was like really excited to see hers open up, and she was buying some of the Novi Sun that were still like pretty green. So I think people are kind of learning, so that's awesome. In total, I sold 19 bouquets this week, 1 deluxe jam jar posy, 8 of the short tulip bunches, and then 10 of the tall tulip bunches. So this week we are expecting rain every day, all day. So I guess that's better than snow or hail. So fingers crossed none of that comes through. But what that means for weather is that it's going to probably be in the low 40s and mid 50s all week long. So hopefully that should make some of my tulips hurry up and bloom, and hopefully I'll have some more variety in terms of color that will open up this weekend. Another fun thing too is that in my business plan video, I outlined my 2 business success milestones, and I've already achieved one of them. So one of them was to have repeat customers, and at this point I've had my friend repeat customer, but I also have had some stranger in the community who's been a repeat customer. And my other coworker is pre-ordering 2 bouquets for next week. The other thing I'm looking forward to too is starting to plant out some tender annuals, because my last frost date is this Wednesday. So fingers crossed the weather freaking cools down, or I mean I guess warms up. So I've transitioned pretty much everything out into the greenhouse to harden off. All of my dahlia starts are getting really tall and they need to be planted out. I'm looking forward to doing some of that this weekend if the weather clears up. Alright, that's it for this week's video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you are finding success in your gardens or on your flower farm. So if you are, please leave a comment down below and let me know how it's going. Thanks for watching. See you next time.